Good evening and welcome to NewsBreak Live. I'm Hiba Samad. It's 5 o'clock on May 21st here in Torrance. Let's get to the news. Local business owners packed the Toyota meeting hall to learn how they can take their business to the next level. The Exit Planning Institute's third annual Owners Roundtable was hosted today to assist business owners who want to maximize the value of their businesses. Another highlight was to help them on exit planning and what they need to think about for the planning of their business exit or transition. More than 100 people came out for the half-day event that was organized with fellow business owners, advisors, and they had a lot of resource tools. They were given a personalized business score and marketability report, self-identified action items to immediately begin improving their business value, and an opportunity for people to make strong connections with professionals and business experts. A few of the panel discussions included how to assess your business value, attractiveness and readiness, and assessing opportunities to build business value.
It is a gathering of business advisors that help owners of businesses consider their succession. Is it going to be, do they keep and grow their business, or do they instead transition it to their family members, their employees, or an outside third buyer in whole or in part?
So many companies in the next 5 to 10 years are going to be transitioning their business, and many of them are not ready for that transition. So we're here educating them on what should they be thinking about and who should they be looking out for in the way of resources that are available to them to help them plan for that.
At the end of the workshop, owners who already exited their businesses shared their stories on what they would have done differently. Exit Planning Institute was formed in 2005 to serve educational and resource needs of financial planners and wealth managers, attorneys, and commercial lenders, to name a few. They are made up of dedicated staff, industry experts, and market leaders. To learn more, go to exit-planning-institute.org. A bill proposed by a local assembly member was recently passed and will make sure e-scooter riders are safer on the road. Assemblyman Amo Fashion Bill 1286 requires cities and counties to adopt safety rules before e-scooter and other shared mobility service providers can offer it for rent or use. It also requires them to give minimum insurance to protect riders as well as pedestrians and others in the event of an injury. The Journal of the American Medical Association published a study last month reporting 249 scooter riders were treated for injuries in 2 Southern California emergency rooms last year alone. Muratsuchi says riders also park and leave these devices on sidewalks and other public spaces, creating a big hazard, particularly for the elderly and people with disabilities. The bill will now head to the state Senate. As the Slurry Seal program continues to make roads smoother for drivers, here are some closures to expect for this week. Tomorrow, all northbound lanes will be closed on Arlington Avenue from Plaza Del Amo to Carson Street. Then this Friday on Arlington from Carson Street to Plaza Del Amo, southbound lanes will be closed. No parking will be allowed in these areas, and detours will be in place. This will take place from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The Torrance Slurry Seal program is an ongoing preservation treatment to asphalt paved roads throughout the city. An average of 3 million square feet of residential streets in 3 to 5 neighborhoods are part of it each year. This method is considered one of the most versatile and cost-effective methods of maintaining and protecting roadways. A unique space where you can experience your true foodie nature is coming to the Amo Fashion Center. The foodie space will be popping up on June 1st, a museum that features interactive food-themed exhibits created by local artists. People will be able to take tons of photos with larger-than-life food exhibits. It's ideal for the serious foodie photo takers. You can indulge in taking a snap with colossal glitter fries, playing with an overflowing noodle bowl of pho, an oversized tea set, and much more. That sure does look fun. Tickets are $20 for Wednesday and Thursday and $25 from Friday through Sunday. You can head to showclicks.com for more information. The next time you stop by a coffee bean and tea leaf location, you can purchase a blend that will give back to your local first responders. Starting tomorrow, the company is launching Heroes at Heart exclusive coffee and tea blends. Sales will benefit the California Fire and California Peace Officers Memorial Foundations. Officials say after another year of devastating wildfires and natural disasters across Southern California, the stores partnered with the organizations to help raise money. They'll benefit from each limited edition sale of the blends through July 7th. You can purchase online, but also in store, where you can write a personal message thanking first responders on the bags of coffee and tea tins, which will then be donated to local stations in the community. The coffee blend is a dark and distinctive medium roast, and the tea blend features green tea leaves grown in South Korea. The Heroes at Heart program raised more than $65,000 for charity partners, and thousands of pounds of coffee and tea were donated to local first responders last year. Also, every Friday during this time, first responders can enjoy a $2 small beverage all day long. A state-of-the-art music center is getting closer to opening its doors. The Salvation Army Torrance Corp has plans to have a public open house in September for its new Donald and Priscilla Hunt Performing Arts Center. There'll be a state-of-the-art recording studio and music center. The facility was renovated at what used to be the organization's preschool. People can expect to use practice booths, dance studios, a percussion suite, and even a coffee shop. The Salvation Army in Torrance already offers affordable music and dance education to children and adults with all different levels of experience through its Crescendo School of Music and Dance, which is phase 1 of the project. Once they officially have a grand opening, they plan to launch all of their programs. Put on some comfy shoes and get ready to discover historic downtown Torrance. Taking place this Sunday at 1:30 p.m., the Torrance Historical Society is kicking off its free monthly walking tours of Old Torrance. The guided tour starts at the Torrance Historical Society and Museum on Post Avenue. From there, will be able to walk to many historic sites and landmarks in downtown Torrance. Guests will also learn where the original Torrance police and fire stations were located, why Torrance doesn't have a cemetery, and about the explosion that put Torrance on the map. The walk will cover 8 blocks and no reservations are needed. The tour happens on the 4th Sunday each month through October. A brand of unique ice cream has brought their sweet creations to Torrance. Go! The chain Cauldron Ice Cream is serving up customers in the city now. There was a line out the door at their grand opening as they waited to get their hands on one of these puff cones called puffles, filled with their favorite ice cream flavor. Cauldron uses liquid nitrogen and a sweet, creamy base. The cone is inspired from an egg waffle you would find in Hong Kong. Partners of the business say they're happy to bring their edgy ice cream here. The flavors they offer are also unique, such as their Thai Tea Anna, H2O Rose, Pineapple Express, and Strawberry Shortcake. And if you stop by, it's the perfect place for foodies, not only because of their interior, but because of their creations for social media.
Growing South Bay City, and all the foodies come here for good food, and so we wanted to open here where it's next to the beach, near freeway, really convenient, and where all of our customers who are major foodies and people who love good food and are adventurous with food come looking for stuff like ours.
And I actually came to their Glendale opening maybe about 2 years ago, and I really liked their ice cream then, and the fact that I found out that it was so close to home made me want to come back and try some more.
The Torrance location is on Southwestern Avenue near Mullen Avenue. Now let's get to the weather now. It was cloudy today with a bit of wind. The high was 64 degrees and expect a low of 55 degrees is expected tonight. Then tomorrow it'll warm up slightly with a high of 66 and a low of 57 degrees. Then on Thursday there'll be a high of 64 and an expected low of 56. Torrance South Bay YMCA is continuing its mission of keeping the community healthy with special events this week. Now through this Friday, the Torrance South Bay YMCA is hosting its free Teen Wellness Week. Every night they have various workshops and you can attend whether or not you're a member of the Y. The activities range from educational, inspirational to health classes. It's open to teens from 12 to 17 years old. The topic for tonight is healthy relationships. It starts at 6:30 at their meeting room. Then tomorrow there'll be a mindfulness workshop. To see the full list of classes, go to ymcala.org/TSB. If you're a Torrance library card holder, you now have access to one more resource. You can read the New York Times digital edition for free online. This includes archived papers from 1851 to the present. There is also 24-hour access and up-to-the-minute coverage of national news every time you log in. Individuals must create an account with the New York Times, and then you can take advantage of it. New York Times Digital is available in Spanish and Mandarin editions as well. Access is available at the library or from any location. To register, go to newyorktimes.com/register. Then don't forget to tune into the Torrance City Council meeting tonight. A local police officer will be honored with a life-saving award. Torrance Transit will make a public donation to the El Camino College Warrior Pantry, and the second public hearing budget workshop on the proposed 2019 to 2021 operating budget will take place. You can watch this all right here on Torrance City Cable starting at 7 p.m. Now let's get to the events. This Saturday, you can stop by the Torrance Certified Farmers Market to learn about CalFresh and Medi-Cal benefits. There will be assistance all day at the information booth. Then this Sunday, the Torrance Antique Street Fair returns to downtown Torrance from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. There will be more than 200 vendors selling everything from vintage clothes, jewelry, home decor, and more. Well, in just 2 minutes, Director of Foster Care Amy Heilman from Children's Bureau will join me to talk about National Foster Care Month. We'll be back in just a few.
My name is Hunter Hayes, and I know my buzzed warning signs. One shot is about knowing my limits, or not necessarily knowing my limits.
I start with one shot to have a good time. Everybody knows how easy one can turn into five.
I think a sign that I'm buzzed is when I start solving not only my own problems, but the entire world's problems. When I know I'm going out, I know I'm gonna start with calling for a ride.
One shot at a time.
Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Cut.
Yeah, no, that was great.
You sure? You guys happy? Great.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
great.
easy day, man. Thank you so much.
Totally, yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Do you want us to sign your guitar?
No.
I mean, we totally do.
We'll
Yeah,
sign
it's
it.
fine.
We'd be happy.
Sorry, I gotta roll. Good to see you guys. Thanks.
We should have asked for his signature.
Hello, I'm Torrance Mayor Pat Fury. There have been many concerns expressed about recent conduct taking place during our city council meetings. While our priority each meeting is to conduct city business, we must not forget that our limited public forum also allows for anyone to exercise their First Amendment right to free speech within the limits of our council rules of order. Torrance has historically enjoyed non-offensive language during our meetings. However, freedom of expression under most conditions is allowed. Profane language, after all, is protected speech. What's not allowed is willful interruptions by a group or groups of persons halting our ability to conduct business. We are doing everything within our power to provide a safe environment for you, our citizens, to participate in your local government. So as we move ahead, I hope you'll join me in coming together to restore civility to our meetings by treating each other with respect and honoring everyone's right to participate. Thank you.
Welcome back to the second half of NewsBreak Live. Joining me is Amy Heilman, the Director of Foster Care from the Children's Bureau, Family Foster Care and Adoption. Thanks so much for joining me this evening.
Thank you for having me.
This is a very special month. I know you were on NewsBreak Live before, and we're talking about National Foster Care Month during May, but people have all year round to foster or even adopt. Talk to me about the importance of this month.
This month is so important. You know, there's a lot of things that we like to celebrate in May. Mother's Day. It's also actually National Mental Health Awareness Day month as well. But National Foster Care Month really allows us to highlight the need for resource parents. There are over 64,000 children in foster care in California, 21,000 of them here in Los Angeles County. It's really important that we have families that are able to take in these children temporarily while we work with their birth parents so that they can go home. And then when that can't happen, then many of our resource parents will also end up adopting.
Since you were last here on my show last year, have numbers changed on how many children are in foster care in California, or how about children who need homes right here in the South Bay?
Right. Unfortunately, we still have a great need. There's still a lot of children that are coming into foster care. And what hasn't changed is the number of families that are available for those children. So many times those kids are having to go into shelters, or even for our siblings having to be split up. So there's really this huge need for families to be able to come forward and be able to take these kids into their home and just really protect and nurture them.
And you mentioned there's many Torrance residents who've stepped up to be a resource to children, even foster and adopt. And there was a specific family that you wanted to share their story, and especially with the Torrance Armed Forces celebrations that just happened and celebrating the Armed Forces all month long. Tell me about Brittany and Jeremy Emerson.
Yeah, Brittany and Jeremy, they came to us here in Torrance, California. They were stationed from Pennsylvania. They're in the Air Force. And when they came here, they already had 2 biological children and were actually expecting their 3rd. While they were in Pennsylvania, they fostered. And they really felt like that they could give back to the community in a way that their whole family could participate. And so when they got stationed here in Los Angeles, they were looking for agencies, and they came to us at Children's Bureau and became a resource parent. Shortly after they were approved, we got a phone call for a little baby girl that had just been born to parents, new parents. That this is the first time that they had children. And so Brittany and Jeremy brought them into their family, brought in this little girl, and loved her and worked with their birth parents and really supported them. They did some co-parenting and really tried to help the birth parents get on their feet so that they could take that child back. In the course of that, the birth parents actually got pregnant again and had a little baby boy. And so Brittany and Jeremy said, absolutely, we're going to bring that child into our home so that we can keep siblings together. Unfortunately, the birth parents weren't able to satisfy all the requirements that they needed to do in order to get those children back. And so Brittany and Jeremy have adopted both of those kids, and they have a lovely relationship with the birth parents. And so even though that they are going to be stationed outside of Southern California, they're going to continue that relationship.
And this is just one of many beautiful stories that you can share because of the mission of the Children's Bureau. So talk to me a little bit about that, because there are various agencies. So what is the Children's Bureau?
So Children's Bureau was founded in 1904, and our mission is to protect vulnerable children through prevention, advocacy, and treatment. And we have a variety of programming throughout Southern California, mainly in Orange County and in LA County. One of our oldest programs is our foster care and our adoption program, started in the 1920s. We also provide outpatient mental health throughout Los Angeles County, and really what we work towards is trying to make sure that children don't even come into the foster care program by really being a leader in providing preventative services and really investing in that.
Children's Bureau helps 40,000 children and parents each year throughout Southern California with the various services that you provide. Tell me a little bit about that. I know you mentioned it a little bit, but the family resource centers, I mean, you guys are the hub for anyone that may have questions, concerns, or want to be part of helping out one child or a pair of siblings.
Absolutely. We serve about over 300 children every year in our foster care program. That's just in our foster care program, but we serve many kids through our mental health and our preventative services. We really do strive. I think one of the best things that I love about working for our organization is that we really strive to try to keep children out of foster care and with their birth parents. And we know that that is the best place that they will thrive in. And so what can we do right from the beginning? And so at our Magnolia Place Center in LA, we have reading programs because we know how important it is for children to have early good starts in their education. We provide a literacy to even the adults so that they can really help their children throughout their academic career. And we're really trying to have a model of practice where we can provide the parents the empowerment so that they can actually have change within their own systems.
And we'll talk about a little bit more about the resources, but what is the biggest concern or need right now for people who are watching at home in light of National Foster Care Month? People who might be interested, how can they help if there is a need that needs to be met?
Right. So we have information meetings. We have about six of them every month throughout LA County. Our next one is going to be on June 1st, right over here in Carson. And then we also have one in LA on June 8th. Really, if you're interested in opening up your family to providing care for a child or siblings, all you need to do is call us, and we'll guide you through that process. We'll invite you to an information meeting. We'll provide you all the information around what it takes to become a resource parent, as well as have one of our resource parents there to talk about their story and their journey. We're there to help you throughout that process. We'll train you. So there is some classes that you'll go to so that you can understand the children that come into the system and the special needs that they may have. And then we also do an assessment. So this really is a mutual process in which we're assessing the families, their willingness, ability, and resources to parent our kids. And we're doing that together.
And a few of the things you just mentioned right now are the resources you have to offer. But tell me a little bit more about some of the other resources that are available for people.
Right. So once you become a resource parent and a child joins your family, then you're going to have a social worker that's assigned to your family. They have really small caseloads when you work with a foster family agency. Our caseloads stay around 12 to 15 children per social worker so that they really can give you some individualized services. We come out and we see you and we do consults with your family once a week to make sure that the adjustment of the child is moving smoothly. We help you get services in place. And then if things are going really well, we're going to go ahead and we're going to ease off. Maybe we'll come out every other week. We also help with the monitored family time. So that's when birth parents and the children are able to see each other. And so we help train our resource parents on how to monitor that. We have sites and facilities that can be the place for that. And our social workers are really going to hold your hands through that whole entire process.
Speaking of resource parents, I know Children's Bureau prides itself in accepting every resource parent. So what does that mean for people who might be considering becoming one, but they don't know if maybe they are the right fit or whatnot? So tell me a little bit more about what that means.
Yeah, so there's a lot of misconceptions out there that folks believe that they have to be married. You don't have to be married, you can be single. You don't have to be of a certain age, race. You can rent a home. You don't even have to own a home. You don't even have to be in a home. You can be in an apartment. And so we really pride ourselves on accepting folks that are really have the willingness, ability, and resources to parent those children. And again, mutually talk about what needs that they have and the motivation that they're coming forward with, and making sure that that's a good fit and that they're going to be able to parent the children that we have.
You've mentioned some of the informational meetings that are coming up, but I do want to reiterate the next one is just right around the corner on June 8th in Carson from 10 a.m. to noon, and that's the Carson Children's Bureau's office. And there's another one in Los Angeles on Magnolia Avenue, and this can all be found at all4kids.org online, correct?
Correct, allforkids.org.
So tell me, what is the fee-for-service domestic independent adoption home study program? And it's a mouthful, but...
Yes, it is a mouthful. So there's lots of ways that individuals, families can decide how to build their family by adoption. And one of those is to do it through an independent adoption where a birth parent makes a plan for that child to be adopted by a community member. Those families will have to get a home study or what we call a family assessment, and we do provide those for a fee for service. If you're coming through the foster care program and you just want to open your family and your heart open to a child in foster care, those fees are waived. But through domestic adoption, yeah, you can pay for an assessment, and most of those individuals work with attorneys, and they'll go ahead and make a plan with a birth parent.
So there's a larger need for families for older children and siblings? Is that a big need? And I know the Children's Bureau really emphasizes they like to keep siblings together. So talk to me a little bit about that for people who might be interested in going that way.
So there's a large need for children of all ages, but our older teens seem to kind of get left out a little bit, and so families that can take on a teen really are important to our organization and to our system, so that teens don't have to stay in shelter care or go into group home care. We know that children do much better when they're in a family environment, and that's what we're trying to provide to our kids. So if you have a heart for teenagers, we certainly need you in our system, and also siblings. If you all think about it, if you have a sibling, if you weren't able to stay with your birth parents and you had to be separated, you'd want to be able to stay with somebody that you knew. And unfortunately, we're unable to do that many times, and we're having to have siblings live in different cities. And so we're really trying to find families that can take in more than one child. There is also a need for smaller, younger kids. Really, we take in kids that are from infancy, right from the hospital, all the way up until 21. Because one of the cool things in California is we've extended foster care from 18 to 21.
But the goal is to have less children in the foster care system.
Absolutely.
So in light of National Foster Care Month, is there anything you'd like to add to people who are watching and who might consider but have never, taken steps towards it?
Yeah, I'd say, go onto our YouTube channel. We've got some really great stories there of real life resource families that have parented foster youth, many that have adopted. Call us. We'll walk you through it. Come to an information meeting. It's important to get information so that you can make the best decision and step forward for a child, for our most vulnerable children.
And as we mentioned earlier, people can head to all4kids.org for more information, attend a meeting, or they can give you a call at 1-800-730-3933.
Correct.
Amy, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
And the information that I just mentioned, we'll be pulling up a full page with it. Again, it's all4kids.org, 800-730-3933. Well, that does it for NewsBreak Live. If you ever have news or video that you'd like to share, please email us at newsbreak@torranceca.gov. Also, if you missed any portion of the show, you can catch it all on Torrance City Cable's YouTube page. Have a great night.